the time has finally come once again, and hopefully we can able to save Dreamland once again, and yeah, you get the idea. Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mario here once again. It's me, Mario, from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Let's Play of Kirby Mouse Attack / Kirby Squeak Squad for North America in the forms of the Nintendo DS. So, last time we actually did tackle by the forms of the 7th world in the game, Secret Sea, and even though despite I did have some bit of trouble with the forms of some treasure chests, and also we beat the likes out of the forms of Meta Knight, and discovered that the fact that the strawberry shortcake was not on that chest after all this time, it's mainly just because of how the fact that Root, the leader of the Squeaks, did manage to able to open one of the chests and usually contains a darkness smoke. So yeah, so speaking of which, in this episode in particular, it's going to be a finale of this game's Let's Play before the extra video is going to come up and during tomorrow. But even then though, we're about to be exploring the 8th and the final world in the game. And that's the forms of Gamble Galaxy. Wait, what is this? We're going to be gambling in outer space? I mean, what is this? Like Los Angeles Galaxy Space Station? Nah, I'm just kidding. Anyways though, out of all the worlds we're going to be run into in this particular game, Gamble Galaxy was easily one of the shortest levels, or the shortest final levels in any Kirby game. Well, alongside with the forms of some of these stages in the forms of, or some of the segments in the forms of Mount DDD, but in forms of, you know, in the original Kirby's Dream Land 1. So, if that's the point, then yeah. So as you expected, much like in any other Kirby games, we're going to be exploring in outer space, excluding the likes of how it does it in, I would classify for saying as Rainbow Resorts and all that stuff, and especially noticeable with the forms of Candy Constellation in the forms of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, but except the fact of the matter is though, it's not nearly as difficult as the forms of, any other final, space levels in the entirety of the Kirby games. So, if that's the case, then it only contains like 3 regular main platforming levels and such, excluding the boss battle at the very end. So, anyways though. Oh yeah, if you manage to enter in one of those barrels right there that usually has a down sign, that way you can able to actually do like a stealth sequence here. Like for instance, if I manage to hide inside the barrel whilst these Goros, or in this case some Gordos, is about to be attacking me, then I can simply just hide in the barrel without getting hit. Even though that's more likely a somewhat similar to the Metal Gear Solid syndrome. But anyways, we're gonna need fire for this because obviously normally you can able to actually light up the entirety of the room, but it turns out we can actually melt out these well, silver metallical blocks, so that way we can able to get the first treasure. And the second chest is pretty easy to actually just about to get to it. In fact, since I've got myself my wheel with me, so that means we can able to use wheel as much as we wanted to. But for instance, we need to dash forward a bit until we're able to come towards the forms of, well, for this particular crumbling platforming sequences here, and boy, yeah, there you go, second treasure rewarded. And yeah, if you couldn't tell already, I'm going to be using Shadow Kirby this time around though, because even then, it almost feels the exact same colors of how it does it in the forms of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. But even then though, it's kind of cool to actually see Shadow Kirby as a playable debut in the forms of this game this time around. Whilst compared to how it does it in the Amazing Mirror, he's simply sort of integrated into the plot, sort of. But even then though, it only happens like a few times noticing, so. Okay, this is the hardest chest to— No! Ah! Crap. Oh, fine, I'll take a death here. Oh, I actually realized, if you manage to die from that certain sequences like this, your treasure will be no longer going to appear, and as a result, in order to actually get that treasure to appear again, you must able to replay the entire level again, so that's a bit hypocrite right there. Even especially noticeable how the fact that, although what's kind of stingy about this is the fact that we're actually going to be grabbing that treasure chest, or the third and final treasure chest, on that specific section alone. I will say though, that out of all the treasure chests in this game, this one, the third and final one, is easily one of the hardest chests to get. Most notably because of how the fact that it's all bottomless pit heavy, so as a result the third and final treasure chest will be easily be dropped through the bottomless pit. So yeah, that's not a good sign. So anyways though, we actually access to 8-2, but we're not going to get in here though, because we're going to be hit back in here. So I'll meet you guys back at successful attempts. So, oh boy. Alright, back in here, so Hopefully we'll get this another shot though, so, okay, stop. Oi. Okay, third time's a charm. Hopefully we can get this. Hopefully we might as well can be for that part. Stop. I just really wish if the wheel will be so easy to control, but it's not as easy to control him, I feel like. So, anyways. Okay, come on. Hopefully we can make our way through here. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Oh, oh! Okay, 4 times the charm. Okay, go, 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 go grab it. Okay, at least we got that, at least. And now I just need to get my high jump ability, and hopefully we can make our way to the end. And no, 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 no. Oh, go, 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 get him. No, go get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Come on, get it. Oh, oh. I hate this freaking treasure. Go. Oh. Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to get this? I mean, I might have found this very simple with the wheel there, but because the wheel is so not easy to control this thing, and I might as well forget about that already collected chest here, because there's no point for me. Hey, okay. Jeez Louise, man. That is definitely the more difficult treasure chest to get. Well, not just trying to able to keep it, but, you know. Oh, finally. Okay, now we've got that level out of the way, and, you know, it all comes to the goods anyway. Alright, so in that chest will actually contains the final, copy ability scroll, and that's the forms of the UFO, if I could assuming so. So even I know that we've actually collected every single of those copy ability scrolls now, and I forgot to mention about the forms of any other treasures usually contains inside. But even then, I do apologize because of how the fact that I was usually talk over a lot with the forms of how the fact with that darn treasure chest in the forms of 8-1. That is by far the hardest treasure chest to obtain though, because most likely because it's all bottomless pit heavy. Not to mention, if you manage to get hit by certain squeak members, how the fact the matter is though is the fact that you were able to actually knock that treasure out of it. So even then, you can guarantee you're probably going to lose that so easily, like I managed to did that right there. So hopefully we've got that out of the way. So let's move on to level 8-2. So yeah, again, we don't have to worry about with the forms of the secret keys anymore, because obviously we've already obtained them all during the World 1 through 7. So even then, I don't think there's any secret levels in World 8. So because it's just the usual final level in the game, so as you expected with any other Kirby games to be like this. Well, it wasn't until when we actually get into, like, let's just say, Kirby's Adventure... No, not Kirby's Adventure Wii. But in forms of Kirby Triple Deluxe, and, all that stuff and all that stuff in mind, and also by the forms of Kirby's Epic Yarn, that we might actually come across into extra levels in these certain worlds coming up in the future Kirby games. So yeah, that's usually as far as we'll go for that point. And oh Christ, I'm hoping I can get that. Oh, I don't want to get temporarily frozen all the time. Okay, at least we got Cutter back, so I think that might be something. Oh, hate those stupid lasers. Mostly because there's 5,000 of them everywhere and they shoot constantly at you. And would you look at that, we're entirely in black in the forms of how they with the actual magic ability, which I think is kind of cool looking. But as a result, I might still ended up trying to missing it because these enemies were able to still catch me off guard. Yup. Oh, I didn't see that coming and I still got hit by the exact same laser enemy again. Oh, Louise. Okay, so, but on the plus side though, we can at least get our 1-up back by simply just pressing that switch over there. And, here we go to the first treasure chest there. Press the one on the left, just in case you weren't able to actually just to get the first treasure. So, yeah, not bad. Not too complicated to, obtain either, so. In fact, speaking of which, with the forms of the actual Squid Squad members, I've had the fact that, Spinny will actually be the final time appearance in the actual main adventure, whilst the only two remainings are, well, excluding the likes of, the Roots, but then again, because of how the fact with that treasure chest that you saw from the previous video ago, from that specific cutscene alone, that Daruch has got been possessed as in a dark power. So even then though, that who could be responsible for actually just trying to possess, Daruch, the leader of the group. So anyways, before we get to the next room, I just need to double check on, is there anything else missing around here? Well, it looks like so far I haven't missed any of them, so it's a good thing to notice that I just need to double check in any sort of kind. So let's just go ahead and continue, and we get the idea with that solution. And right from the get-go, this might actually be the final time for the forms of seeing Golden Waddle D right there, so that way we can get ourselves a second treasure chest. So it's quite easier to obtain though, especially noticeable how the fact that it's actually a long stretch of road there. So and here's the third and final treasure chest, and before we obtain that, then we get ourselves the Stereo, the final time we're going to be seeing him throughout the majority of the adventure, well, excluding the likes of the actual minigame itself. So even then though, that hopefully we'll get to that point, don't worry. So anyways, let's go ahead and obtain, I didn't get any food supplies, so that's kind of stink. But oh well, who cares about that. But anyways though, let's see beyond those 3 items here. So we've got ourselves the next spray paint. I believe this might actually be the final one, or I don't know about that. And the final piece of the secret map, and also the final piece of the ghost medal. So this is what happens if you manage to obtain every single pieces of a ghost medal, then this happens. Every single ghost is scattered across Dreamland. And also, that if you manage to obtain every single secret map pieces, then it will actually transport us into the forms of this hidden area, which actually leads us to, actually I might save that for later though, before I'm able to actually accomplish level 8-3 first. So even then though, that's, this might be the final level, well, the final main platforming level before the final boss in the game. So because of that though, this might be the final level to actually feature just 3 treasure chests alone, and then that way we'll be completely done with the forms of some of these red main treasure chests. Well, the only exception to be concluded for is the forms of the silver treasures, or in this case, the great treasures if you will. So that might be some conception for this throughout. So I really do love the actual background environments of this game, even for this world in particular. Especially noticeable how the fact that it almost feels very similar that we're actually in outer space for some considerable times though, which is very, very awesome if you ask me. So anyways though, alright, so we got to keep on moving forward here. Especially noticeable how the fact that we've almost gone towards at the very end of the game, so even then, after this, then we're going to be moving on to the forms of the next game in the series of the forms of the Kirby series. But again, we're probably not going to start doing Kirby Superstar Ultra just yet though, because I haven't really gone into that version of the game just yet, because again, I'm still stuck on the forms of the arena. But even then, once I've completed that, in addition to the true arena, and the forms of the Helper to Hero mode, once I've unlocked those modes, then I can pretty much guarantee to able to actually do that Let's Play at some time. Well, until 2019, because even then though that, we've almost nearly towards the end of 2018 obviously, so even then though that, don't worry, it will take some time, don't worry, so even then though that, yeah. So yeah, apart from that though, there's not much to say about this for the most part though, when it comes to today's video, aside from being about the fact that, what was I trying to say? Actually, to be honest, I really don't know about that, because even then though, that, again, I'm a little bit too rusty with the forms of some of these, new announcements and all that stuff, which I'm afraid that seems to be able to be happening at this point. But, apart from that though, it's not that too much to discuss through, so, other than being that, the next, Kirby game we're about to be doing a Let's Play and doing, is the forms of, Kirby's Epic Yarn, because even then, that seems the case here. Especially noticeable how the fact that, well, originally we were trying to do, like, some of these spin-off Kirby titles, but in forms of, Kirby Power Paintbrush from the Nintendo DS, and especially noticeable with Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush, but I don't own those, and it's not my kind of, tea, or it's not my kind of thing with the forms of Kirby, style of gameplay like that, because I'm just not a big fan of that specific joined and line-to-line type of syndrome to me, though. I mean, yeah. Man, seriously, look at that environment. It's so peaceful to look at. Especially noticeable how the fact that it's almost like almost like a Game Boy Advance title, but at the same time, it's on a Nintendo DS system, as far as you already know. But even then, it does look very, very impressive to look at. So, but I digress. And I believe the second treasure chest that needs to be obtained though, and that's the form so we need to acquire fire. So that way we can able to actually obtain that ability, like I still managed to keep that the whole entire time. And that way I should able to actually, well, just move forward a bit without getting hit most of the time. Which I might also able to notice that anyway though. And hopefully we'll get the fireball back. And basically, we need to able to use the fireball ability before we're able to actually just go ahead and, you know, just trying to dash forward for quite some little bit of moments noticing. So, but of course, flamethrower will not work on that part because even though the flamethrower only melts these silver metallical blocks. So, there we go. We've got ourselves the health restored right there after getting hit several times, which I will admit though, that might be some little bit consumption for that. And here we go, folks, on to the final room, and also this might be the final time we'll be seeing Doc in the forms of the actual UFO contraption. And speaking of which, here's the UFO with the forms of the actual copy ability scroll that we've technically already got in the forms of 8-1. How the fact of the matter is though, is that we got ourselves this little spinny thing that's usually with us for the entire time. It's kind of like the ones in one of those contraptions in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles in the launch base zone level. How the fact of the matter is though, is that, you know, of course, this is the final time we'll be seeing this particular gold game. Because of that, though, we've reached at the final point of the game, which even then, first off, we want to point things out. Yes, we finally got ourselves the final musical sheet here, in addition to the final spray paint, and also the final heart vitality. So, that means we've actually collected all 8 of those pieces of the vitality hearts, and heart health is fully completed. Not bad at all. Not bad at all entirely. But anyways though, before we head on to the final level or the final boss in the game, let's head in here first. Because even then, if you remember playing through Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, if you manage to able to actually access to the forms of pretty much everything, this particular ability room is slightly similar to how it does in the forms of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, except the fact that you don't instantly transform into yourselves into a different copy ability unless if you have obtained the bubbles themselves. So even then though, I might as well able to grab some of my favorite copy abilities. I think that should be fine for now. So even then though, I could expecting so for that much. So let's grab bomb here, and let's just get out of here. Oh, what is this down there? Actually, to be honest with you guys, I think I'm actually going to be saving the ghost ability in the extra video, because even then though, that might as well discuss onto that as soon as we're able to get into the actual extra video. So, there we go folks, here's the true final level in the game, and we're about to be able to finish off with Daruch once and for all. So even then though, let's go ahead and just get ourselves a little bit of a random item. And yeah, we're about to get started here. So I'm going to be using once again the hammer ability because I always love hammer. So here we go folks, this is the forms of Dark Daruch. In this case, in my opinion, it's one of the harder boss fights in this particular game. Probably way more harder than the likes of the normal Daruch form. Because, well, first of all, he moves way too fast. And second of all, that, well, he's quite intensively powerful. And plus, you know the triple stars that he performed? Well, he performs that off way more faster this time. And plus, you can't really reach higher enough if you're trying to do a simple jump. But you have to purposely try to able to fly all the way up to the skies, or the actual up towards the ceiling. That way you can able to deal the damage on Daruch. So, that maybe seems a little bit compromised there, but even then, that's a little bit more of a cohesive side of things. So, but once you deal with enough damage with Dark Daruch, then the actual darkness will actually no longer be possessed as Daruch now. So, there he goes. And also, just like the ones in Master Sword from the forms of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, we actually obtain ourselves the actual Daruch staff. This is the forms of the Triple Star, which is something is a little bit equivalent to Master Sword from the Amazing Mirror, except the fact that, well, we can't talk more onto that particular ability once we're able to chase after him. So even then though, but just so you thought that the game was over, well, there's still more to it because even then, we need to chase after this particular dark star of any sorts, and then that way we can able to actually reach all the way up to the top, and then once we're able to hop onto this warp star of any kind, then we can able to do an absolute final battle with the forms of a somewhat of a strange Dark Star of any sorts. So, anyways though, I think I should probably heal myself with the maximum tomato right there, because if you couldn't tell, one of the more annoying things about chasing after this particular familiar object here is the fact that you need to keep on dodging those boulders, which even though that can cause some lot of damage if you're not being careful enough. But anyways though, here we go with the true final boss in Kirby Mouse Attack, aka Kirby Squeak Squad for the Nintendo DS. We have... What the heck is this? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the forms of Dark Nebula, which is more accurately somewhat a little bit more of a... somewhat similar to Dark Matter from Kirby Dream Land 2 and Kirby Dream Land 3, including 01 from Kirby Dream Land 3, and also 02 from Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. But except the fact the matter is though, is the fact that, well, it's kind of epic as far as it will go, but honestly, out of all these bosses in this game, this particular final boss fight is disgustingly easy. I mean, he looks a bit intimidating at first, but if you manage to do not paying careful like I did right there, that sometimes it gives me really hurts. I mean, let's just see how this happens. I mean, even though he constantly spamming those little star spells, just like in the forms of how it does it when Nightmare does it in Kirby's Adventure and Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. But really? Is that all he does? He just keep on just doing that technique, and that's all he does. And as soon as you get enough hits on him, booah! At last, we've completed Kirby Mouse Attack. I'm pretty sure he does have 3 forms, but even then, no, it's just only one phase of a fight. Unlike any forms of Dark Mind, you have to deal with multitude of sections on that final boss in that game in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, which I found kind of ridiculous. The treasure chest was the prison of Dark Nebula, ruler of the underworld. Well, that explains it. Meta Knight knew the secret of the chest. So we should probably listen to Meta Knight, aren't we? Well, at least, you know, compared to how it does in Kirby's Adventure, that's for sure. For King Dedede anyway. He fought Kirby to provide Dark Nebula from being released. The Squeaks decide to look elsewhere for treasure. They're left for parts unknown. Looks like peace will return, or it looks like peace will return to the land. But what? I mean, is there anything else to know? Where did that slice of strawberry shortcake disappear to? Oh, maybe, who knows? Thoughts of that lost snack fill Kirby's head as he goes home. The end. Was I to commenting who actually left that particular snack? But I digress. So, yeah, as soon as that speech ends, then we got to the credit sequence. So, yeah, overall, Kirby Mouse Attack, / Kirby Squeak Squad, as you expected from any other Kirby games, I actually do really enjoy this game. It's actually way more, enjoyable to me than the likes of how it does it in the forms of, well, I don't really mind Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, but I just really found the level design on that game is pretty, miserable to me though. But I feel like the level design in this game feels like, somewhat calmer compared to how it does in the forms of the previous game in the series. Well, most likely because there aren't any spikes around here this time around though, I feel like. But even then though, that might be something is a little bit more of a good thing, so... While the story's a little bit too samey, well, not as too samey, but somewhat completely different because we have to focusing on the strawberry shortcake, but apart from that though, very simple by the looks of how Kirby standards out there. And also by the forms of how the fact that, the gameplay is remarkably similar to how it does in any other Kirby games at this rate. And also by the forms of the usage of the touchscreen functionality, while it doesn't do that much, other than being a Kirby stomach, mechanic. And also the graphics looks very identical to Nightmare in Dreamland and The Amazing Mirror, which I also do like. And even then though, that the soundtrack is very cool to listen to too. Even though there are some music that heavily borrowed from the previous Game Boy Advance installments of Kirby games every nowadays, like, you know, Nightmare in Dreamland and The Amazing Mirror, all in the Game Boy Advance, and they slightly simultaneously borrowed that music set pieces from this game, which I thought was kind of odd. And controls, once again, superb for the most part. And overall, it's just a really, really good game to me, though. Sure, some people usually think that it's a little bit more simplistic Kirby game compared to how it does it for what it does it previously. But the fact of the matter is, though, that might be some more of entirely onto their opinion. And in fact, this might actually be, you know, as I mentioned this to you before, this is actually the final Kirby game to be developed by Flagship, and then not just for the Kirby game, but the final flagship game in the entirety of the video games department, because afterwards, then it'll no sort of light of day for the forms of the actual, like, flagship in general. And yeah, that's all I can really think about it. A short while later. Oh yeah, because of that strawberry shortcake did manage to chase after us after once in a while. A delightful strawberry shortcake arrives for Kirby from the Squeaks. Oh, that's kind of them. Perhaps it's an apology for all that trouble they caused. Okay, so the Squeak Squad members are now friends, apparently. But Kirby doesn't really care why they send it. It's snack time. With shortcake waiting to be munched, Kirby is truly happy at last. The end. Really? You're telling me, game, about the fact that you're trying to trick me with the forms of the bad ending, but technically you said that this is the true ending, so yeah, that's pretty insane if you ask me. So, after you complete every single part of the game, you actually get yourselves the boss endurance, which I'll show that off in the extra video. And there's also a shortcake right there. And once you've completed 100% everything, you get yourselves the extra mode. So I might as well see you guys tomorrow for the extra video, so there's no much to say. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.